The tallying is officially underway. Will Joe Hogsett be able to serve Indianapolis for a third term, or will we see the beginning of a new mayoral legacy? Meanwhile, in Hamilton County, who will the voters choose in Carmel after their mayor stepped down after nearly 30 years in office? We're watching all the big races around the state with Indiana's best political team. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening.
We have team coverage with crews all over the city tonight covering today's election. I-Team 8's senior investigative reporter Richard Essex begins our coverage and is keeping an eye on voter turnout.
Yeah, he's live tonight in the City County building where the polls have closed. Richard.
Well, it's the first major municipal election that we've had since 2019. There's been a question whether voters would respond after the COVID lockdown. Now, voters have been subjected to a very rigorous campaign here in Marion County for the mayor's race, and it's brought up a lot of issues. But the one thing that we heard repeated today was change.
One way or another, either we're going to get change because someone will come in and be a change agent, or we're going to get change because somebody's just going to wake up and hear what people are asking for.
Derek Izzy voted in one of the busiest precincts in Marion County. In addition to the mayor's race, a city-county council race in Washington Township is generating a lot of interest. With two races on the ballot, it took most people less than a minute to vote. He told me that he votes in every election, and there wasn't one particular issue that brought him to the polls today.
Just change for the city.
Just down the street, we found Omar Brito. He's a naturalized citizen, and this is his fifth election to cast a vote. He takes voting very seriously.
The act of voting is important, and I like to vote because there are issues, yes, that influence me. And so if I didn't vote, then I couldn't say anything about those issues that are affecting me.
Brito voted at the precinct at St. Luke's Church, typically one of the busiest precincts in the county, and the only place where we found people waiting in line. Back downtown at the City County building, voting was steady at noon. Cindy Mowry is the Republican co-director of the Marion County Voter Registration Board. Both parties have a co-director. Mowry said that municipal elections don't typically generate the interest of a general election, but so far, voting is heavier than the last one in 2019. We have seen some very heavy turnouts in the southern part of the county and the northern part of the county. In Perry Township, some of the precincts that are reporting 600 plus voters coming to those precincts, and that compares to 2019 when they barely had 4,000. And the same thing that we're seeing up in the northern part of the county, up in Washington County. Just to give you an example of how many people have voted, we have so far the latest numbers, 159,000 people have voted here in Marion County. That's 25%, which is more than voted in the entire election in 2019. Just in the past hour and a half, we've had almost 20,000 people cast their votes. We'll have the complete rundown for you throughout the evening here on Wish TV. In downtown Indianapolis, Richard Essex, Wish TV, I-Team 8, back to you.
Well, 6 polling places in east central Indiana were without power this morning following a widespread outage. Wayne County Clerk's office says 4 polling locations in Richmond lost power around 8 o'clock this morning. They also say due to the outage, all 4 will be extending its voting hours till 7. In Hamilton County, the election administrator says 2 Hamilton County polling places were without power until around 8 this morning. They say both have power now, and it did not affect voter turnout.
Well, most polls around Indiana are now closed. Voters all over Indiana are choosing who will lead their cities for the next 4 years. And here in Indianapolis, the race between incumbent Joe Hogsett and Jefferson Shreve has led to an intense and expensive campaign. News 8's government reporter Garrett Berquist joins us now. He's following the Hogsett campaign tonight. Garrett.
Hogsett's campaign volunteers are just beginning to set up for the event tonight here at 910 North Event Center. They expect to open the doors shortly. Hogsett is seeking a rare third term. If he is reelected tonight, he would become the second longest serving mayor in Indianapolis history, behind only Bill Hudnut. Hogsett has said he views this as a chance to catch up with projects that were put on hold by the COVID-19 pandemic. He looked back on this year's campaign as he greeted voters this morning.
It was long and it was hotly contested, but we're at Election Day and voters are voting, and the winner will be declared tonight, and I look forward to the results. The early voting totals far exceeded what they were 4 years ago. And because of the competitive nature of the mayor's race, I think that turnout will be much higher this year than it has been in the past.
A poll back in September gave Hogsett a 10-point lead over Republican challenger Jefferson Shreve. Hogsett trails Shreve in overall fundraising, but he leads Shreve by quite a bit in terms of total number of donors. We expect we will hear from Hogsett as well as other Marion County Democratic candidates here at this event throughout the evening. Live in Indianapolis, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
We now turn to News 8's Danielle Zukalski, who is downtown at Heirloom Jefferson Shreve's headquarters. And Danielle, what's happening there?
Well, so far, not too many people have got here. We're expecting supporters to start coming in around 6:30 p.m. this evening. Campaign staffers tell me they're expecting around 250 people to come and support Jefferson Shreve as he waits to see if months of campaigning was enough to unseat a two-term incumbent mayor. Now, Shreve, a Republican, is fighting an uphill battle here in Indianapolis. Largely considered a Democratic stronghold, Shreve will have needed to convince on the fence and moderate voters and potentially even some Democrats to vote for him to unseat a two-term Democrat in this city. Shreve has raised $14.5 million, but $13.5 of that is out of his own pocket. That money has gone to a significant amount of ads over this election cycle, but will it be enough?
Taking on an incumbent is always tougher than an open election, of course, but people are hungry for change. This is democracy, and we have waged a really competitive mayoral campaign, which we haven't seen in a few cycles, and competition is good. This is good for our city.
Now, recent poll results show public safety is a top issue for voters in this election cycle. A poll by Wish TV media partner WIBC shows Shreve led Hogsett in that category 39 to 37%. Now, polls just closed moments ago, and we are expecting to start receiving results in the next few hours, and we'll have them here on Wish TV and online on wishtv.com. I'm Danielle Zulkowski for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
And as you just heard from Danielle, the polls are officially closed now. And we, of course, will keep you covered throughout the evening as the results come in on key issues and races that matter most to you, including school measures and mayoral races around the state on Wish TV and wishtv.com.